We're pushing down the fake news, we're demoting it, and we are increasing the authoritative news and promoting it. How do we do that? We have a whole system. We came up with trashy news where we have build classifiers, we identify it, we look for salacious, for clickbait, content that isn't, that we don't think is the authoritative news. It's just kind of encouraging people to look at, but it's not true. We're training, we added these instructions to our raters, and we've updated our classifiers, and we are working to understand, identify that with machine learning, and then to push that down.
Any doubt in your mind, Robert Epstein, that this program on YouTube is going to be pushed down?
I think we're going to be wiped off the planet here digitally, yes, I'm pretty sure.
That was the head of YouTube talking about what we already know. I would be considered, the Blaze would be considered by them, a trashy network. ABC would be an authoritative voice. That's how you are being manipulated in the first place. They are telling you we are dismissing and we're the judge of what's true and false. And then they're going to teach a machine how to do that.
But you don't really get what's happening here. That was Susan Wojcicki, the head of YouTube. The reason why this is critically important is because 70% of the videos that people watch on YouTube around the world, 70% are suggested by their up next algorithm. You see what I'm saying? The power they have to shift opinions and votes is unbelievable. We're actually quantifying what we call the YouTube manipulation effect. We're quantifying that right now. I'll have numbers in a few months, but we think this is the most powerful form of manipulation that they have, and people are completely oblivious to it. They don't know about that algorithm.
But everybody thinks that algorithm is made for you, so it's what you want. It's not.
Well, if you're strongly opinionated, they're just going to feed you what you want because they can keep your eyes on the screen, and they can, that's traffic, that's worth money. That's not the issue. The issue is, what are they showing the undecided people, the vulnerable people, the uncommitted people? How much power do they have to shift opinions, purchases, votes with those people? And I am telling you, I think this is going to be the largest behavioral effect ever discovered. And we've discovered about 11 or 12, but I think this one is going to be off the scale.
Okay. When people type in, Glenn Beck, we always think when it's filling the rest of it in that is what people are searching for. But that's not true at all, is it?
It was, I think, in the very, very beginning when that autocomplete was invented. But, at first it was an opt-in feature. Then all of a sudden it became a feature you couldn't opt out of. And then they reduced the number of items they were showing you to shorter and shorter lists. And very gradually it turned into what it is now, which is just a tool for manipulation. Okay. And we have shown in randomized controlled experiments, just by manipulating those search suggestions that they flash at you while you're typing, we can turn a 50-50 split among undecided voters into a 90-10 split with no one having the slightest idea that they have been influenced.
So let's show one case here. This is against Biden. And you see it says against Biden political ad commercial, this is Yahoo on the top. You go down to Google and it's a different story. Explain this.
Well, what Google is doing for candidates and companies and causes that they want to promote, they are suppressing negatives. So that's a perfect example where you see negatives popping up regarding Biden on YouTube, and the same one on Bing. But on Google, somehow or other, they're gone. They're missing. They're absent. That's content suppression. You could call it censorship, but it's also a very powerful manipulation that people cannot see. You can't see because you don't know what you don't know.
And especially because I know this has happened to me. Before I knew this, I would Google things and I'd be like, wow, I must be alone. Because nobody else is Googling nobody else is Googling this. Blatant Hillary. Up at the top now on this slide is Yahoo. And when you typed in, I can't even read it, it's so small, and Hillary, And it says, and Hillary bumper stickers, Hillary memes, anti-Hillary T-shirts, cartoons, anti-Hillary molten aluminum, anti-Hillary jokes. Okay, that's Yahoo. Now let's go down to Google, and what did they have? Anti-Trump cartoons. Wait a minute. Anti-Trump song. Anti-Trump. Wait, but.
Right, but when you go anti-Hillary on Google, you get nothing.
But if you put anti-Trump in, you get everything. But no anti-Hillary, nothing. Not one.
That's right. Not one. That's right. That happens a lot. So again, this is very powerful. You just suppress negatives when you're showing people suggestions. You suppress negatives for the candidate or the cause or the company that you support, and that shifts hundreds of thousands and ultimately millions of votes. It shifts the votes of people who are undecided.
Okay, explain the crooked Hillary trends graph. What does this mean?
Okay, that graph shows you that at some point or other in 2016, when Trump gave her that nickname, the Google Trends is showing you that millions of people were searching for crooked Hillary. So the question is, that's according to Google's own data. The question is, what happens if you type the word crooked into the Google search engine versus other search engines? And again, it's astonishing.
You get crooked smile, crooked blank, crooked colors come down, crooked smile lyrics. But if you put it into Bing, crooked creek, second is crooked Hillary. Put it into Yahoo, crooked. This first one is crooked Hillary. So two of them are operating honestly on the algorithm of what people are actually doing.
Correct.
But Google is the target because Google is the search engine that almost everybody uses.
Yes, these other search engines have no impact at all on public opinion or on votes. It's just Google. And when you see the difference between what they're showing you versus what these other companies are showing you, I mean, it's just night and day. And bit by bit by bit, you begin to understand, wait a minute, these are manipulations. These are powerful manipulations. And that's what I measure. That's what we do in our research. We actually measure the potential impact of these manipulations.
And not everybody will see these. Like,
oh no,
if I won't see these because I'm somebody who is pro-Trump or conservative or whatever, and so they won't necessarily serve this to me. But
no, what they serve to you is what they think you want to see. But that is not the issue, okay? Because they're not going to shift your vote. Okay, although there's some issues where they know they can shift you. That's why they do the predictive modeling. They know you far better than you know yourself. They have the equivalent on you, because I know how old you are. They have the equivalent of about, I'm not kidding you, 3 million pages of information on you. So they do the predictive modeling, and they're showing you what they want to show you that serves their agenda, but basically, no, they're not trying to manipulate you on issues they know they can't touch. Okay, other issues, yeah, where they know they can influence you, believe me, they are. But when it comes to an election, it's the undecided voters. And they know exactly who they are. I mean, literally, their names, exactly where they live, and they know every single thing about the undecided voters. And that's where these manipulations make all the difference. I mean, and they can shift people so quickly without people having any idea that this is occurring.
I was shown technology in 2012 or 15. I can't remember which one. And it was a predictive app that could show you what your neighbors believed. Yeah, I mean, and it was like 99% accurate. You would know, you'd be able to drive through a neighborhood and go, that's an independent house. That's a Trump house, that's a Hillary house, that's an independent house. And so you could go and speak to the Trump people to make sure that they were going out. They had no idea that you weren't hitting every house. You were just hitting their house. This is just a phantom doing that, because that can be tracked. There's record of that someplace. But this can't be tracked.
Well, it's not only that, but look at it this way. Even if somehow or other we had a way of getting them to delete our data, which they claim they will do, and they never do. They never, ever delete data. I mean, imagine King Midas throwing away his gold coins, flushing them down the toilet. Our data, that's their gold. So they never get rid of it, ever. But the point is, even if somehow we could get them to delete our data, the predictive models, that's their property. That's really their intellectual property. And that's where the real value is. And they've gone way beyond, simple predictions. They're now at the point where they are making predictions about what you're going to do, think, and say moment to moment in time.
What does that mean?
That means that they've built another version of you and your kids and our kids. They've literally built digital versions. This is what Kurzweil does. They've built digital versions of us and our children, and they're using that to make predictions, and they're using that for manipulative purposes.
So
the more you know about someone, the easier it is to manipulate.
So some people would say, but it's such a great service because it anticipates me, because it knows what I'm looking for, et cetera, et cetera. So where is the creepy line? Where is that line where it turns from help to monster?
Well, you see, the real truth is there is no line anymore, because they're just operating at two different levels. So the level we see, right, and this is by design. At the level we see, they're just a, big, nice, cool public library giving us everything for free. That's the level we see. Right. But the other level is the real level. That's the business level, and we just don't see it. I'm one of the few researchers in the world who's been really, poking into that other level. At the other level, do public libraries track everything that people read and then monetize the information? Of course not. So the other level, they are the biggest advertising company in the world by a factor of 10.
Mm-hmm. Robert, just real quick, I want to hit this. Please put the website down where you can help monitor this. We're going to get into it in a second. You've got to track them. We have to track them. And we need money to do it. And we have been trying to raise money from big corporate, big people and big checks. It ain't happening. The people have to do this. Real quick, 30 seconds. Your life has been turned upside down since you came against these guys. And you're a Democrat.
Well, I lean left. I do lean left. But I just think there are bigger issues here. I love America. I love democracy more than I love any particular candidate or party. I mean, it's that simple. These issues go way beyond any particular election or even beyond the U.S. because these monopolies operate around the world, and they're impacting the attitudes, beliefs, purchases, opinions, votes.
This leads us to a China scenario.
Yeah.
Does it not? Yeah.
Yeah, except China stays, generally speaking, within China. But Google and Facebook, they're influencing 2.5 billion people around the world. That's more than twice the population of China, and that number will be over 4 billion probably within a year and a half.
Okay, those are the first two steps. Second step 3, manipulation. We go there next. First, let me